Okay, so today we're going to looking for the transient structural analysis. So the yesterday itself, we discussed about a static structural analysis, but today it's transient structural, and mostly you are familiar with the steps. Like already I explained a little bit regarding the transient structural analysis yesterday itself. So the transient is nothing but the applied load here will changes with respect to the time. So that is the only difference between the structural analysis and then static structural and then transient structural analysis. So the transient means it's a time dependent load data. Okay, so what we can do with the transient structural analysis, a transient analysis by define it involves the loads that are functions of time. So as I said before, it's a function of time. It can be varies with respect to the time. So in the mechanical application, you can perform a transient structural analysis on either flexible structure or a rigid assemblies. So you can go with the flexible structure or a rigid assembly, both of them. And this type of analysis is used to determine the dynamic response of a structure. Okay, so we're gonna calculate the dynamic response when the component is moves, how it's actually behaves. So most of the scenarios which comes under the transient structural part. So the problem here is it takes a lot of time to get solve the problem. Okay, so other than that we can easily we get a maximum result and more realistic result in the transient structure. Okay, so response dynamic response of the structure under any action of general time dependent loads. Okay, so you can use it to determine the time varying displacement, so strains, stresses and forces. Okay, since our input is like the force which is changes with respect to the time, right? Similarly, the output we get is also with respect to the time data. So the displacement or else stresses, force, anything it may be, changes with respect to the time. Okay, so the time scale of the loading, such as the inertia and then damping effects, you maybe have some like yesterday also when we discuss about the static structural theoretical part, I'll say that you can't include the initial effects and then damping effects. So but here you can include that also, like inertial effect and damping effect. So you should be very clear regarding then in your analysis. If you want to include inertia or damping effects, you can directly go to the transient structural analysis. Okay, so maybe some of the cases, if the inertia and then damping effects are not that much of important, you might be use the static structural first, and then if you are not satisfied with that result, you can come back to the transient structural analysis. So always give the first preference to the static structural, and if you don't have the enough number of results in the static structural, you can come to the transient structural, because it will take a lot of time to get solve the problem. Okay, so fine, so I'll minimize it and move on to the next step, that is points to remember. In points to remember, a transient structural analysis can either be a linear analysis or a non-linear analysis, and most of you guys are well aware of what is linear analysis and non-linear analysis, because yesterday itself we discussed about the stuffs like what is linear and non-linear, what is stress versus strain graph, how the force versus deflection will behave here, this happen, and what are the types of non-linearities we have. So we discussed about we have a three different types of non-linearities. One is contact non-linearity, and then surface non-linearity, and material non-linearity. So any one of the non-linearities which included in our session, in our problem statement, it will be completely changed into a non-linear analysis. Other than it will be a linear analysis. Like always, the transient also you can perform either linear or non-linear. It's up to you. Okay. So the Answers Workbench offers an additional solution method of mode superposition. Okay. See, you maybe have some. Most of the people's not aware of what is mode superposition method. So I'll show you one example. Uh, because I'll yesterday itself I said that the transient structural itself, it takes a lot of time. Okay, I'll show you one completed report of a project. Just a second. See. So actually, what is the report of this problem is we done a project which is related to a it's not a slab structure, it's a sandwich wall. So those who are from civil department may be aware of what is sandwich wall. So the outer surface is made up of steel and the inner surface is made up of concrete. So you'll have some straps also for the binding. So we want to do a static structural analysis to validate the stress results and then strain results. So in such situation, what I'm going to do here is after the meshing, I'm doing the analysis with respect to the mode superposition transient structural analysis. What does it means? Okay, so you can directly go with the static structural and do the analysis, because here we have a time dependent load. What are the loads we include is a seismic load and a wind load. So if you compare both loads, a seismic is nothing but the earthquake load. So the earthquake load is changes with respect to the time, as well as the wind load is also changes with respect to time. So ideally you can't do the analysis on static structural. So you have to come to the transient structural analysis. I'll come to this thing, but I can't ideally do the transient structural bit because it takes a lot and lot of time. Eventually I have a lot and lot of nodes over here. See how small the nodes is. So the smaller number of nodes will have a more number of elements and then nodes. I mean, yes, exactly. So it will drastically increases your problem statement. So that is why we just couple the model analysis to a transient structural analysis. I'll explain what is model analysis, why we do the model analysis in our upcoming session. Maybe we have a model analysis session in our current sessions also, this session. So you can also do this type of analysis. It's a one type of analysis. That's it. Okay. So that is what they said. Like answers of Workbench offers an additional solution method called mode superposition method to perform the linear transient structural analysis. In mode superposition method, the transient response is given to the condition. Ideally, you don't get understand this point. Maybe when we come to that part, I'll explain to you. It's not that much of difficulties they included in this theoretical session. So it's very easy to understand. Okay, so instead of giving you a theoretical explanation, I'll give you as a practical one. Okay, just ignore this point right now. Okay, so we can go with the software first. So this is all the important stuffs, like you should be well aware of, like why transient and why should I do for this thing. So it is not only for the transient or a static structural. You should be aware of all the analysis. Like whenever you go for a eigenvalue buckling analysis, you should be very clear. Okay, this is what eigenvalue buckling analysis. This is why I'm doing this analysis. This is the result I'm looking for. You should be very clear regarding that stuffs. So you can't directly go to any analysis and randomly do some assign some forces and looking for some results. It's ridiculous. Okay, there is no sense in that analysis. The fundamentals is very very important for every analysis. Okay, I hope you get a clear idea or a overall idea regarding the transient structural analysis. I'll just close it. Just double tap on the design modular. Okay, Workbench. So here we don't have any structures. I'm gonna create our own structure. It's very easy to create. So before that, I'll explain what is the problem statement today we're gonna see. So in this session, it's a transient structural analysis, right? So I'll just made a block like this. Actually, it's a part of a bridge structure. It's a part of bridge structure. Just assume it as a bridge. Maybe it's not look like a bridge, but just try to understand. Okay, this is a bridge. Okay. So here we have a block, and the bottom we have some supports like a legs, whatever you can say. So ideally we have one vehicle over here. Let's just assume it as a car or a heavy loader vehicle. You can assume anything. Okay. So we have this car at this point. So what happened here is this car is constantly moves from this point to this point. This is destination point. Like if you assume this as a point, this is B point. Okay, I think one more member is get added. Bachelor's food. Okay, so actually this car is moves from this point to this point. Alright, fine. So here somewhat of load is get uploaded over this point, this this space, and moves to here and here, here and here. It cannot directly go to this thing. Ideally it takes from A to B point, it takes around 5 seconds. It takes around 5 seconds to get moved from this point to this point. As simple as that. See, if I try to split the spaces like this one, distances, distance number 1, 2, 3. So at the first second, the vehicle is at the 0th second. and first second the vehicle should be here. At second it should be here. At third second it should be here. At fourth second it should be here. At fifth second it should be here. So due to the self weight of this vehicle, the bridge experiences some sort of loads, that is 1 e power 5 Newton. This much of load is actually applied to this phases. So this load is actually changes with respect to the time. So here we have a 0 and 1. So the first 0th second and 1 second, the vehicle is ideal in this position. After the second, the load is shifted from this phase to this phase. That is second phase. At third second, the load is in the third phase. And fourth second and fifth second. Just be clear in the boundary condition because we have to mimic this condition in ANSYS workbench. This is what we're going to model and we're going to do the analysis. Okay. So this time dependent load. Now the load is get changed with respect to the time. I have to import this data in ANSYS workbench. Okay. So first, let me design this component, the bottom one, the bridge. That is what we're going to analyze today. It's very easy. Just go with, since it's a transient structural analysis, I'll just drag and drop the transient structural to the project schematic. Okay. Anyways, no bridge is made up of structural steel. It is made up of concrete. Actually, it's not pure concrete also. It's like what we say, the combination of structural steels and then concrete. Okay, ideally we are not interested to include that stuffs. I'll just make it as an assumption. Right now our bridge is fully made up of structural steel. Okay, it's like an assumption case, not an issue. So we are interested to see this condition, right? Like what is transient, how is it? So material doesn't make any sense. I'll leave it structural steel. I'll just close it. And to create the geometry, go with the design modular. Anyways, if you don't want to use the design modular, might be you can draw the structure in any CAD softwares like a SolidWorks or CATIA, Creo. You can just import it as an IGS file or step file here. So the first step you need to do here is just change the units first. That is very, very important. Millimeters. Good. Once you're done with that part, just try to choose the XY plane. It's not XY anyways, whatever the plane you are convenient with. I'll choose XY. And I'll make a random sketch. First, I'll start with a, what we say, with a block. Okay. And I'll make some arbitrary dimension. It's completely arbitrary. There is no search values for here. I'll just say it's 30 and the length should be 150. Okay, I'm sorry, it's not 15, it's 150. And I'll make it as a symmetry because I want this block should be exactly symmetrical with this axis. So go with the constraints option. In constraints, you'll have a symmetrical constraint. So just be clear, whenever you use symmetrical constraint in design modular, always try to choose the symmetrical line first. This is my symmetrical line and these two lines are my references. Now the block will be symmetrical with each other about this line. Good. So next part, the bottom one, I'll go with the rectangle. I'll just make some block. So here we don't have any mirror option like that. That is why I'm always saying that a design modular is not a convenient way to create a geometry. Better than you avoid this thing. I can go with any other latest software. Will be much easier for you. Yeah, it's 15. Good. So similarly, I want to make the dimension exactly similar to this thing. I'll just make it as a 30 and height should be also 30 and horizontal distance between these two things will be 15. So now we need to trim this thing because I want to extrude this whole part. Go with the modification tools and try to pick up trim option. Just double tap because we have two lines, so that is why. One is of this thing and then another for the bottom. So once you're done with this part, it's very easy. Go with the extrude option. I'll give some maybe 40 and click on generate. See, now the whole part will be extruded and say generate. Now we have a block. See, right now if I try to choose the top faces, this face, It will be highlighted in a green color, but it's in a whole path. I don't want to use like this because my vehicle is actually, see, this is my actual condition, right? So at 0th and 1 second, the vehicle it should be here, and 2, 3, 4. So the load should be varied. For that, I have to split the surfaces into 5 pieces like this. How can I? So I have to split like this. Then I can apply like 1, 2, and 3, 4, and finally 5. So I have to split like this. How can I do that? So we have that option also here. I'll show you that. Uh, 1 second. I'll add the people. Okay. For that, it's very easy. Just by using so many options we have. Either you can use any sketch option to split this thing. So let me choose. Array. Okay, fine. I'll choose face selector and click on this thing and go with sketching option. Okay, I'm sorry. So I'll draw a random 2 lines. Okay, 5 lines. So whenever you have a V symbol, that means you always your line should be in a vertical, even though if it is having some tiltations. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so that is what I need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll give the dimension. So since the total length is 150, I'll make it as a each and every segments as a 30. Okay, I don't want this thing. I'll delete it. I need a horizontal dimension from here to here. It should be 30. And similarly, here to here, here to here. Okay, make it as a 30, all the values. Okay, fine, that's good. So once you're done with this thing, we created a lines. I'm going to use this line to split the space. Go to the tools option. You have so many tools, but I'll show you a very few tools in the design modeler because, like I said before, for the design modeler itself, you need at least a 5 to 6 sessions to complete all the stuffs like the extrude option, geometry splitting option, cross sectional views, zoom in, zoom out, gestures, everything. Okay, so go with the face split option. Uh, Try to pick up this edge selector. Okay, I'll choose this face I want to split using the geometry. Make sure you're on the edge selector and press Control and try to choose all the edges you have and click on apply. Now the 4 edges is get added and click on generate. Now the face split option is done. To make sure that whether the face is splitted or not, just go with the face selector and try to pick up the face. See, now it will be splitted into multiple pieces. It's very easy to apply the forces right now. Like just apply the force here and here and here and here and here. That's it. So I'll show you how to mimic this condition. So this is our condition, right? This is the condition. So at 0th second, 1 second, 2, I mean 3, 4, 5. Okay, it's very easy. So after done with the geometry creation part, just close it. Automatically the geometry will be get saved. And okay, don't close the again. Double tap on the model. Okay, so we're done with it. So just click on the mesh. So the first thing you need to do here is just check the geometrical configuration whether the material is correctly assigned or not. If you want to apply the concrete, you can go here and choose the concrete also. That is also possible. But I'm not going to choose that thing. I'll leave as it is. And check the properties whether all the values are in the positives. So this is very, very important. And once you verify these two things, go with the mesh, right click and say generate mesh. Since it's a well propered geometry, you don't need to worry about the meshing. See, we have a better mesh, a proper mesh. So want to make sure the quality of the mesh, just click on the mesh, just expand the quality. Okay, or else you can just go with the display option. Just try to choose element quality. See, all the elements are in the red color. That means it's nearly to the 1. Okay, since Yeah, it shows like a red color. That is, it doesn't mean it's a poor quality of element. It's a better high quality of element. Okay, so it's a single color, so that is why it shows in a red. Like the values is more important. It's nearly close to the 0 point. I mean, like to 1. So if you have 1, it's ideally 100% quality of elements. Good. So once you're done with the meshing, the next part is the transient load. That is very important. So that is what we are looking for this session also. Okay. So the first step you need to do here is instead of static structural, now we have a transient structural. We have analysis system also. How can I make sure that what are the steps I should follow while we apply the force? The first thing is you should fill up the values in the analysis settings. So when I click on analysis setting, there will be a yellow color indications, and there is so many options in number of steps, current steps, and step ending time, auto stepping, like that. So this scenarios, okay, I'm sorry, I'll show you. So let me start with the number of steps. So actually, this transient structural analysis can be done with two ways. One is single step and another one is multi-step. So this two classification we cannot gonna see today. I'm gonna show you only one method, that is single method. How can I do analysis using single step method? Okay. So right now I'll just say that the number of steps is 1, so because it's a single step. So we don't have any multiple steps. I'll stick with 1. The current step is 1. And what will be the step ending time? The step ending time is nothing but when will our analysis will completed. So when I expand our boundary condition, actually our analysis is taking 5 seconds to complete, so the entire analysis. So for that, what I will do here is I'll just say 5 seconds. So the step ending time should be 5 seconds. So that is what the step ending time, the 5 seconds. Once it is done, at the bottom it shows like auto timing stepping is turned on. Okay, right now I don't want the auto time stepping. I'll just turn off it. Okay, so it asks you for a time step. It's nothing but for how much intervals you need the output results. Okay, see, if I say for example it's 0.5, if I say the time step is 0.5, it means I need the output, because since the output like deformation or stress is actually varies with respect to time, right? So how many intervals you need? Like uh, our analysis is carried out from the 0 to 5 second. Okay, for each 0.5 second I need the result. 0 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5. For every 0.5 intervals I need some outputs, like what is the deformation, what is the stress, what is the strain, like that thing. So that is what the 0.5 means. If you say 0 0.3, for every 0.3 second the software will try to show up the results. 0 0.3, 0 0.6, 0 0.9, 1.1, like that stuffs. So this is what the time step means. But right now ideally I'll stick with 0.5 seconds. Okay, now you can notice that at the top initially we have one question mark nearby the analysis settings, but right now we don't have that search question marks. Okay, so the next part is we're gonna apply the boundary condition, that is forces and fixed supports. So I'll start with the fixed support. Okay, so just click on the transient structural, right click. It's very similar what we done in the static structural, the same procedure, but the analysis must be different. Insert, I'll choose fixed support, and at the bottom I'll choose these two faces and click on apply. Now the two faces is get selected. See, now the two faces is get selected. And also since it's a continuous part, so here we have the continuation and here we have the continuation. So I'm interested to fix this edges also, the two edges. Right click, insert, fixed support. Just make sure you are in the edge selector and try to pick up these edges. Once you selected that thing, just click on apply. Now we have a two fixed support. So the bottom faces and this two edges. As simple as that. So the next thing is we need to apply the forces, that is time dependent variant load. So this phase and this phase and this and this and this. Okay. That is very, very easy. Just click on the transient structural and right click insert. Here we have the option called force. Just click on the force. So I need a 5 different forces because based upon the time, this phase experiences a different set of loads. So this phase and this phase, this phase and this phase. So you'll understand why I said like we need a 5 forces to achieve this condition. Okay. See, if you closely watch in the system, at 0th and 1 second, we have some sort of loads, that is 1 e power 5 Newton. But what about the second, third second, up to 5th second? No, we don't have any forces at all. So only at 0th second and 1st second, we only have the force of 1 e power 5. Other than that, 2 second, 4th second, 3rd second, because the vehicle is actually moved from this position to this position, it is there won't be any load at all. So that is why we assume that it's a 0 1. So I'll just try to pick up this phase. Just make sure you're on the phase selector and try to pick this phase and click on apply. Now this phase is selected for this force. It asks you for the magnitude. I want to give the time dependent load. So just click this arrow button. A small arrow button is there. Can you observe? Just click on this thing and choose a time dependent load, tabular data. Once it is click on, when you try to expand this thing, you maybe have the option to define the load with respect to the time. Okay. Before that, I want to specify the direction. This is my H and click on apply. So this is my direction. I'll specify this thing. I know that at 0th second, I'll have a maximum load that is 1 e power 5. And at second, okay, at first second also I'll have the full load. That is 1 e power 5. But at second, I don't have any load at all. Second, third, fourth. Okay. So this will be completely 0, 0, and 0. See, can you get my point? Why I'm trying to change this value? Because only the vehicle is placed. I mean, on this phase number 1, it will be for the second of first 0th second and 1st second. After the second, the vehicle is moved from this position to this position. So that is why this position doesn't experience any forces. So that is why I make it as a 0, 0, 0, and 0. And now we're gonna apply the force for this phases. Just right click, insert, force. Now we just selected this phase. Now the direction should be this one and click on apply. So the same procedure, I'll choose tabular time data. But for now, the 0th second and 1 second, there won't be any load. Only the second it experiences a load because at 0th second and 1 second, the vehicle is on this phase. Okay. So at second, third second, I mean, there won't be any load because second, the load is here. Third second, the load should be here. Fourth second and fifth second here. So I'll make it as a 0 and 1 as a 0. Okay, so I'll give 2, 3, and 4 also. So only I have a load on second, that is 1 e power 5. Okay. So other than that, I don't have any other loads on this phase because it's in this phase, this and this and this phases. Similarly, we need to follow the same procedure for all the phases. So in this phase, it only experiences at third second. So I'll say 1, 2, 4. See, only you can give 0 to 5 because in the analysis setting, we define that entire duration of the step ending time is 5 seconds, right? So that is why software will try to recognize, okay, this is the analysis. It actually started from 0th second and ended at 5 seconds. So 0 1, okay, third second, I'll have a load of 1 e power 5 and click on enter. Okay, that's good. So once it is done, I'll move on to the next, that is forces. Click on apply. Tabular data. So 1 is 0, 2 is also 0, 3 is also 0, 4, okay, I'm sorry, at 4 we have some load, that is 1 e power 5. Okay, so last, the fifth thing, right click insert, a force and click on apply. I'll make it as a time dependent data. So I'll make it as a 1 e power 5. Good. So just make sure all the loads is correctly assigned or not. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So want to view the cumulative result, just click on the analysis setting. See, you'll have the curve, a beautiful curve. Good. How the loadings is actually applied. See, now we defined or we just mimic this condition. So the vehicle is here and here and here and here. So yes, this is how we just assign the load condition in transient structural analysis. And finally, we are looking for the results. Just click on the solution and right click, insert a total deformation, right click, insert. I need the stress results, that is equivalent von Mises. Okay. So once it is done with this thing, just click on solve. Go with home and click on solve. So usually it takes higher time when comparing to the static structural. Okay. Now the problem is get solved. So if you want to view the animation, you can just play on the animation. In the real time, it won't bend like this. But for an animation purpose, software will try to scale the results. That's it. So don't expect this much of bending in your actual component. So go to the results option. See, actually the result is actually, it deforms 300 times, 305 times. So I'll say true scale. This is how the deformation will be look like. It won't looks like more appropriate, but eventually we have a total deformation of around 0.05. I'll just try to solve it. Okay. So eventually if you want to scale it, you can. That is also possible. No issue in it. You'll get a better animation. Okay, you don't want this much of animation, you can just reduce the scale factor. You'll have a better thing. So you need a better animation, just stop it, just change the frame rate to 40. It will give you a better performance. But it's totally depend upon the graphics card you are using in your system that produces this animation part. Want to save this animation in video format? Go with this thing, export as a video. That is also possible. Okay, just save this file, any location you want. That's it. And yep, so the total stress we experienced is around 6000, 610. So if you want to looking for the time dependent data, see, can you see, this is the curve of the data. See, for every 0.5 second, I'll get a minimum data and then maximum data and then average data. Okay. So why I get for every 0.5 second, even if I try to check the total deformation also, I'll get a results for every 0.5 seconds. 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, like that. See, if you want to change that stuff, I don't want the results for every 0.5 second. I need the results for every 1 second. You can. For every 1 second, if you want need, you can just change the time step to 1 and solve these results. Again, the problem will be get solved. If you reduces the time step, probably the solving time will be drastically increases. Reduced. Just click on the results. See, now we only get a results for each and every second. 1 second, 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 third, fourth, and fifth second. Suppose you need results for the point for every 0.1 seconds, like a 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, like that. Go with the analysis settings and change the time step to 0.1 and just click on solve. Obviously, it will takes a lot of time because we have so many time steps. Just wait for that thing to solve. Okay. So I think the problem is get solved. Just click on the total deformation. See, now for every 0.1 seconds, you'll get a results. It's more accurate than the previous thing. You can have a closer look on the tabular data and then curves and related things. And also I'll have a stress deformation changes for every 0.1 second. See, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, up to 1. So we have up to 5. We have this thing. Suppose you don't want to define this thing. So that is what this thing means. Like in analysis setup, so we initially turned off the auto time stepping. Suppose if I try to turn on it, now it asks you for a three values, that initial time step, and then minimum time step, and then maximum time step. So it is nothing but in which value you want to view the results at first stage. That is the initial time step. So the initial step, suppose I need zero point 0.3. Okay. So the maximum time step, maybe I'll give a zero point 0.4 to 0.9. What does it means is, okay. Okay. What does it means is, at the first stage, it shows me the results of zero point 0.2. Okay, the results of zero point 0.2. And this minimum and maximum time step, just assume it as a range. So instead of giving the time step properly to the software, so in the previous case we'll provide 1 as a time step and then 0.01 as a 0.1 as a time step. So that means software gonna follow that step. So for each and every 0.1 second it shows the results. But this time, instead of giving directly, I'll give some limit. Okay, you can choose any values. It's up to the software, but the limit should be, the range should be in between the 0.1 to 0.9. You can take any values. Maybe it can take zero point 0.4 increment value, or 0.3 increment, 0.7, 0.6. It up to the software. Let's see how the software will choose the incremental value, but the starting value should be at zero point 0.2 seconds. Okay, right click and say generate the results. So now we have this thing, like when I looking for the results. So actually the software is taking the zero point 0.1 as an incremental factor, but the result is actually takes from 0.2. So you can't, blame the software, like it can take any value. For this case, it takes zero point 0.1. So in the for further calculation, it may take zero point 0.2, zero point 0.4, sometimes 0.256, any values in between the range. So I'll give a range of 0.1 to 0.9 as a range. It can choose any values. It eventually choose the first values. Okay. Yep. So that is what a transient structural analysis means. Uh, that is what we're gonna plan to see today also. Okay. And hope you will understand the basic concept in the transient structural analysis. So by tomorrow, we'll be meeting with another interesting analysis. Okay. So if you have any doubts, you can always ask, or else you can leave the webinar. Okay.